Hey all, Scott here, your 365 coach, and today I'm going to be taking you through how to use Microsoft Planner and show you some of the latest and greatest features that Microsoft have released to further improve Microsoft Planner. And I actually am a fan of Planner. I use it to manage my own projects day to day. So there is that question I sometimes get of, well, what is Microsoft Planner? And it's in the name, right? If you've used Trello or other similar applications in the past, Microsoft Planner is a web-based tool allowing you to create a plan to manage a project or initiative that you've got on. Maybe you've got a house move going on and you need somewhere to manage all of those tasks for the next few weeks. Maybe you've got something at work, a project needs to be done for finance and need somewhere to go and do all of your task planning and have an area to do charts and reports. Well, for both of those scenarios, Microsoft Planner works really well. But of course, we do have people say, well, is Microsoft Planner Microsoft Project? And the answer is no. It doesn't do things like resource planning or effectively that intelligence you need from a Microsoft project plan around dependencies and so forth. It's a very simple way when it comes to managing your projects. That's not a bad thing because Microsoft Planner in the large is mainly free of charge. If you're paying for Microsoft 365, you're most likely already going to have Planner for you ready to use. But in Microsoft Project, that's not the case. You have to pay Microsoft a lot more money to be able to get access to Microsoft Project. So with that in mind, how can we use Microsoft Planner? Well, in this tutorial, I'm going to be showing you how to create a brand new plan using brand new capability for templates in Planner, how we can manage tasks, how we can report and use charting, and also how we can bring it all together inside of Microsoft Teams. So grab yourself a coffee and we can talk through how to get the most from Microsoft Planner. Firstly, accessing Planner is really straightforward. All you need to do, go to office.com, click on the waffle on the left and then select Planner. If you don't see it though, click on All Apps and you can then select from Planner down the bottom and it will open the Planner tab. You can also go to tasksoffice.com to get straight into Planner if you would prefer without all of those clicks. Now when you access Planner, the first area you'll be taken to is this Hub tab. That gives you access to all your recent plans. You can simply click into them to access your plan. You can also look at recommended plans, so plans that might have relevance to you that you have access to, whether public or private, you'll easily be able to access. Or you might want to look at all of the plans that you have access to across the organisation. Now this would include both private and public plans, and that's a topic for a little later in explaining the security model, but you'll also be able to access all the relevant plans there. But let's firstly get started with creating your first plan before checking out an existing plan. So let's go up to New Plan on the left hand side, and what you can very simply do now is choose from a template that Microsoft provide us with, and this option wasn't here previously. Instead, every plan was a new blank plan, but the good news is if you're working on a project management plan, software development, business planning or employee onboarding, you can use one of these new templates. So here, let's select an employee onboarding for a new staff member that I'm taking on in the company. Simply left click onto employee onboarding and we see a little bit of a preview on the left hand side of what this new plan looks like, and we can also name it on the right hand side of the screen. So I've named this Onboarding of John Smith. Now also, maybe we have an existing HR team and I want to connect this plan into so everyone in the HR team have access to it, or one of our existing public teams. But in this scenario, I want to create a brand new plan and a brand new group to look after this new Microsoft plan. Now that's really important to note here because as you'll see under the privacy, because it's going to create us a brand new group to store this plan in, we need to define the security. Either that's going to be public, meaning that anyone in the organization can pop into the plan, check the status and also update tasks, or whether it's private and only relevant members of the team that I bring in can access this plan and update the relevant tasks. In most cases, your plans will largely be private, which is the default option, but it's important to note the security there. Not only that, the way that Microsoft works with creating these objects is they use something called group enabled objects. That means that when we create this brand new plan, because I'm not connecting it to an existing group, it will create itself a SharePoint site, a distribution list, and also a OneNote notebook as well. So it doesn't just create the plan, it does create a number of different and varying objects that you get as part of the deal. Now, whether you want to use them, that's up to you. Most people very rarely do, or they accidentally use them. So let's move forward and then click on the create to create ourselves a brand new plan and also that brand new group for the onboarding of John Smith. So our plan is now being created. Just took a couple of seconds. And as you can see, automatically this template comes with a number of buckets and tasks. Now, if you've not used Planner before, the concept of a bucket is a little strange. We might think of the buckets as holding lots of water. That's not the case in Planner. Instead, a bucket holds all of your tasks, and it's a way to create these swim lanes in your project plan. So here we have buckets for post-offer acceptance, technology, paperwork, orientation, and feedback. So we can group our tasks relevant to the best bucket. Now, creating a new bucket is very straightforward. Scroll to the right and select Add New Bucket and give yourself a new bucket name to enable you a new swim lane to create all of your tasks. Very straightforward to do. But we're going to use our existing buckets here to look at the concept of what a task means inside a Microsoft Planner. Much like any project plan, we have tasks to get completed. And in this scenario, we already have some that Microsoft have pre-created for us. So let's have a look at this IT task to set up the company account so the employee can sign in. Simply left click into one of your tasks and we can see effectively a Microsoft Planner task. It is built up effectively of its bucket, the progress, which I can mark as in progress, the start date and when this task needs to begin, the end date and when we expect this task to be completed by, whether this repeats, and the given priority. We can also add a further description or further notes on this task. That might be as simple as noting here that this is an IT task that needs to be completed very shortly. And once we added that note, we can also select show on card and we can show that information on the card. So if I close down the task here, we can see an IT task to be completed very shortly. If I left click back into that task and I actually have here a checklist of activities, we can also add a checklist and we can actually cross over these tasks once they're done. So here I might check off ask the employee for a preferred company username, and we can actually select show on card. So once again, if I close down this task, this replaces that note on the card and I very simply can see any of the outstanding tasks for us to complete. And again, I can simply left click inside of that card and I can check off that actual action and add further checklists. So very straightforward to do. Also, we can consider adding attachments. Maybe there's a company contract or something I have to share here stored on my local desktop and I could browse and attach it to this task. Maybe it exists inside of our group or team to where this plan is connected to, or maybe it's a third-party link to a third-party resource that we need the IT team to review. So you can add that type of attachment directly to your task. And as the tasks move forward, you can also add comments. So we actually note here that the actual employee has confirmed their preferred username. Now we've added our comments, we can click on send and that will update the task because other people can see both the person and the time date when that was added. But importantly, Planner comes with a new change. We can actually have suggested attachments. So effectively, if I have the relevant content here, maybe an employee contract or information, it may well become relevant and I could very simply click on add to add one of these attachments to our task. Now, none of these here are very relevant to our task, so I'm not going to go and add any suggested attachments, but it's a very useful tip to use inside of Microsoft Planner. But importantly, tasks need to be completed by people. And right now, this task is not assigned to anybody. So there's a sign button here at the top of the screen you can left click into, and you can see the people you can select from. Now, my name, as in the account I'm signed in as Alex, is the only person here that I can assign a task to. There's no one else in my suggested list that I can add other than Alex himself, and I can also add other people to this task. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to add this as a task for Nestor. Search for Nestor, you can see it marks Nestor as being a non-member. That means Nestor is not a member of our plan. If I left click into Nestor here, we have a pop-up that we need effectively to check away. That is that this user isn't a member of the plan, and if we provide access to this person, all of the tasks and any content that's been effectively stored in this plan, like attachments inside of teams or groups, they would also have access to. So if this plan is part of a team and I assign and add Nestor, Nestor also becomes a member of that Microsoft team. So do be careful when you're adding people to tasks by noting that they have access to more than just a task that you're assigning them into. And that might be for good reason that you want to bring them in, but if not, do be cautious on who you add to your task. But I can click assign and that will now add Nestor to this task. I can close the dialog down and I can now visibly see that Nestor and Alex both have been allocated to this task. Not only that, because we added Nestor, we can also see that Nestor has now become a member of the onboarding of John Smith's plan. So as I mentioned, any tasks or associated files that have been stored will also be accessible to Nestor. So we do need to be cautious on who we add when we're actually adding brand new people to pick up our tasks inside of our plan. So I hope you're enjoying this video on Microsoft Planner. Just wanted to let you know as well that we have a free ebook that also covers elements of Microsoft Planner. The link is in the video description. It's available completely free of charge, so go grab your copy. And also, we'd love it if you'd like and follow our channel, because even more videos like this are available for you today. But how can we add a new task? Well, it's very simple. Click on Add Task, and you'll then see we have to give a task a name. This is a requirement for us to create any task inside a planner. So post offer acceptance might include bank details for actually being paid. So confirm bank details is really important here. So confirm bank details. Once we've done that, we can then select again a due date, and we can also assign it to the relevant person. So here I'm going to also assign that to Alex. And once we've done that, we're going to click on the green Add Task. Then once we've done that here, we can left click into that task and add all the relevant detail that we've just covered inside of our task originally for that IT activity. But very straightforward to add a new task into your Microsoft plan. So with all of our tasks now being added into this plan, we may also want to get a view of different effectively charts and scheduling of the tasks itself. So we actually click on charts onto this other tab here, and we can see all of the actual tasks inside of our relevant buckets, the number of tasks list, and also who's been assigned those tasks. I have 2 under my account for Alex, and Nestor has 1, but most tasks have been unassigned. So very useful to share with people as your plan and your actual progress moves forward. You'll handily be able to have charts you can very simply share with your wider team, and they can pick up these charts also. There is also a schedule view, so you can see it in the calendar. You can also see that when the tasks run by, you can left click into any of these, and you'll also be able to have quick access to that task within the calendar itself. Now here, I could also hide future reoccurring tasks. I don't have any set for reoccurring, but I could also do that inside of our actual calendar. But also there is another option for a grid view. So if you prefer to get a view of all of your tasks in that plan, without going through all of those buckets on the board view, there's a very simple way you can click into here and just add the relevant detail very easily without clicking into each individual task. And as tasks get completed, all we need to do is left click off them on the grid here, and we can mark them as being completed. Very straightforward to do, and gives you an overall view of all of your tasks inside of your plan. But if you also want to have a view across your board of different information, clicking back into your board view, you'll be able to click on the group by bucket, look for group by assigned to. You can also see the progress, so you can slice and dice this information depending on what you need directly through the board view. So the grid view is certainly useful, but as is the board view when we're using slicing and dicing a group by, or trying to filter it by specific parts of those planned tasks to be able to get a view of those really easily. So very straightforward to do. Now importantly, of course, our plans have settings, and I here am an owner of the plan, so I can begin making changes to our plan and doing various other options. So if we click under the three dot menu for our settings, we actually see files, notebook, and all the sites relevant. So I click under files, it will send me to the SharePoint sites being created, holds all the documents for the onboarding of John Smith. Likewise, clicking back into the three dot menu, I can copy the plan, so very easy. I can copy it to another group. Maybe this is a useful plan I want to use again for another purpose of onboarding our next employee. Or what I can also do is export the plan to Excel. So if I want a view of all of those tasks under the onboarding of John Smith, Well, it's very straightforward for me to share this with people outside of the actual plan itself. Maybe a third party who wants to understand the progress of this work. It's very straightforward to do and take that copy into Excel. In addition, I could also copy the link to the plan so I could put it onto my clipboard and share with others. And importantly, if I click into plan settings, we also now have an option to set a effectively theme inside of our plan. So the onboarding, I might have more of an interest in this dark grey theme. It looks a little better for the planning side. And also inside of plan settings, we can look at the group name if we need to make a change to that, change the privacy, and also turn off when things get notified inside of the actual plan. Because some people can complain they don't want to have reminders being sent. They can very easily turn it off on the notifications. And should you want to delete this plan, there is an option at the bottom here under plan settings to delete the plan. However, this deletion is a permanent deletion, so there's no ability to soft delete it and get it back later. Be very cautious when you're deleting a plan in that you do want that to happen, because they're very, very hard to restore, if not impossible into some certain circumstances as well. So I'm not going to go ahead and delete that plan, but we've seen a number of options under our plan settings that we can adjust moving forward. When I'm working in Planner, I also want to understand all the tasks that have been assigned to me. So go back into our Planner home here, we see assigned to me, and we see all of the tasks assigned to me over all my Microsoft Planner plans. So very helpful here to get a view, again in the grid view, of all of the tasks that have been assigned to you, and also where those tasks have also been shared by others. And also you can move in to look at additional charts and even a schedule of all of your tasks moving forward. So assigned to me is a super helpful area to stop you clicking through every single one of your plans to see where you are with things. Not only that, if we also go down and have a look at the all here, we can also access all those different plans that we have inside a Microsoft Planner. So very helpful to use assigned to me alongside your hub to capture all your existing plans and also pick up any relevant actions and activities, or even quickly update them as well. But as with all things, people love to use Teams, and what I'm showing you is very web-centric. So how does Planner integrate itself into Teams? Well, in that scenario, we can click on the three dot menu here inside of your Teams app, and we can actually add an app called Tasks by Planner and To Do. And when we do that here on the left-hand side, we see this new app called Tasks by Planner and To Do. This now will also give us a view under assigned to me, all of those additional tasks I've been assigned to across all of my different plans inside of Microsoft Planner will be visible to me here. So if I don't want to access the web browser and go through all of my tasks, I very simply click into each of these, and in the relevant Microsoft plan, we can actually just make a change on this task and it will synchronize itself back into that plan itself. So a very simple way here to get back to all of your assigned tasks that exist on the Microsoft Planner. But you may also be thinking, Scott, how do I then create a plan in an existing team or group that I'm part of? In our scenario, we looked at creating a brand new plan for the onboarding of John Smith directly from Planner, and we didn't even touch Microsoft Teams. Well, let's go into Microsoft Teams and into a team that I work with my wider team. Here as an example, I work in our sales and marketing team, and we have lots of different tasks going on inside of our team. So how can I very simply create a plan directly through Teams without going anywhere near that web interface? Well, all we need to do is click into the plus icon as add a tab in whichever channel you would like inside your Microsoft team. You then can search for relevant apps, and I'm going to search for the app called Planner because that's where effectively our plan is going to be created. We once again see Tasks by Planner and To Do, and we can left click into here. We now have an option to create a new Microsoft plan, or we can use an existing plan that we've already created previously and simply add it as a plan. But I don't have one here, so I'm simply going to put it here, marketing tasks, because they're all going to be the tasks that our marketing team needs to complete moving forward. I can also post a channel about this added tab into my team. I want to do that, so I'm going to go ahead and then click on Save. You'll then see that under our Microsoft Team General channel, we now have our marketing tasks, effectively Microsoft Plan. Now, at this point, the security is also shared amongst me and the team inside of sales and marketing. And because it's a brand new and blank Microsoft Plan, Well, you don't come with any pre-configured buckets. We end up with to do with nothing, and we can add further buckets. So here I don't want to call this to do. Instead, this will be future tasks or marketing, and we'll also add a further bucket in here, and we'll name that going to be future thinking. Now what we can simply do is click on add task, and then once again, in the same way we used in the planner interface, give it a short summary as our task name, which may well be budget planning. We can then set a due date, which I'm going to be setting for a couple of months time, the end of August, and we can assign one of our marketing team. Because this plan has been created inside of our sales and marketing, any members of sales and marketing can also share and view tasks. So I'm going to give this to Adele. I'm going to click on add task, and Adele will be notified and begin updating this task and mark it when it's completed. So it's very straightforward to add a brand new plan inside of Teams, as well as access all of your tasks across all of your plans. Once again, we can go back into our Task by Planner and To Do app in Teams, and we can very handily pick up all of our shared plans. Here's our sales and marketing plan that we created, and there is all of our marketing tasks. So very straightforward once again to access your Microsoft Planner through Microsoft Teams, have that integration without you going anywhere near the browser. So very straightforward for you to use. And there we have it, Microsoft Planner, a tutorial that's going to enable you to build your next Microsoft plan inside a planner and share it with your wider team. So no more using Excel, Word or Outlook, or even worse, paper and post-it notes to manage your next plan. Now you've got all of that additional capability that you can use and show off to your colleagues. Now, if you like this video, we would love it if you hit that like button, but even better if you also follow and subscribe to our channel. We put out a huge amount of tutorials on tools like Planner and the wider Microsoft 365 stack to help you achieve more every single day. So otherwise, we appreciate you checking out this video, and we'll be seeing you in the next one.